The fragility of human civilization is a profound lesson we learn from the 20th century. At the start of that era, there was widespread optimism that progress in technology and morality would go hand in hand. People believed that humanity would become increasingly wealthy, healthy, and ultimately happier. Wisdom, it was assumed, would naturally follow. Without a doubt, humankind has achieved great things. On the grand scale, we are wealthier and healthier than ever. For instance, the life expectancy of a Brazilian peasant now exceeds that of a member of the Portuguese royal family during the height of colonialism. Poverty is no longer defined by an absolute lack of food, shelter, or clothing, but rather by relative comparison with the abundant life of the more prosperous. However, while progress has not been entirely illusory, the fear of regression has also proven justified. The Great War shattered the naive optimism that progress towards an utopian society was inevitable or even possible. The most civilized of people demonstrated their capacity for organized violence, claiming the lives of millions in unimaginable ways. Revolts against entire civilizations occurred throughout the 20th century. We experienced China's Cultural Revolution, the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia, so who can confidently claim that such horrors could never happen again? Right now, as I speak, children in the Congo are mining for cobalt to power the rechargeable batteries of the device you're using to watch this very video. Under these circumstances, one might expect intellectuals, who are assumed to possess deeper insight and foresight than ordinary individuals, to be preoccupied with preserving the boundaries that separate civilization from barbarism. After all, these boundaries have proven remarkably fragile. However, one would be mistaken to assume so. Some intellectuals have willingly embraced barbarism, while others remain oblivious to the fact that boundaries require maintenance and at times vigorous defense.
I don't sleep! I eat like... I have no friends, no social life, and I'm miserable!
Breaking taboos and transgressing norms have become praiseworthy in the modern critic's vocabulary, regardless of the value or significance of the transgression. A reviewer of Peter Soto's Selfish Little, for example, praised Soto's alleged disregard for convention as a virtue in itself, without specifying the particular convention he was breaking at all. The reviewer considers Soto's unconventionality in itself inherently praiseworthy. Yet whether it was virtuous or vice-ridden depends on the ethical content and societal impact of the convention in question. Nonetheless, opposition to traditional social rules is what elevates the modern intellectuals in the eyes of their peers. However, the recognition granted by scholars to the rejection of established morals or religious laws inevitably shapes the perspectives of those who are not intellectuals. What is celebrated amongst postmodern bohemian types eventually permeates the lives of unskilled workers and welfare recipients, those most in need of boundaries to improve their lives or beauty to provide hope for change. The outcome is moral, spiritual, and emotional poverty, an empty life of fleeting pleasures and prolonged suffering. Instead of empowering people to demand better standards, we simply brush it off like that doesn't matter at all.
Whenever he's dancing, I feel happy, I have joy watching him dancing.
We think we are free because we can stuff our faces with fast food. We can get addicted to pornography as early as 8 years old, dance to the trendiest and increasingly shorter tunes, and take big pharma pills to cure man-made diseases. But it's okay, we are wearing blue light glasses to prevent our eyes from frying while we doom scroll our favorite social media. This type of transgression kink is so prevalent in our intellectual modern mindset that we just simply accept any form of degeneracy as the new big thing. Why bother that mainstream music is getting increasingly more empty? After all, it's transgressive. Why bother that our museums are becoming soma-inducing light shows? It's transgressive. Why bother that our children are getting exposed to extreme content on the internet? It's transgressive. There's someone somewhere, I'm sure, being liberated by all kinds of degeneracy that we just brush it off nowadays, so as to not be seen as too traditional, so as to not be seen as stuck up, and God forbid, to have standards. To be very clear, not all criticism of social conventions and traditions is destructive. In any society, there is much deserving criticism. However, those critics must recognize that civilization requires preservation as much as it needs change. Immoderate criticism, or criticism driven by utopian ideals, can inflict great harm, even devastation. No individual, regardless of brilliance, can single-handedly deduce all knowledge, rendering the wisdom of previous generation useless. To think otherwise is to indulge in the most egotistical intellectual arrogance. The same type of intellectual arrogance that once made it possible for great postmodernist minds to sign a petition calling for an extreme reformation of the laws of consent in France in 1977. In the realms of art, we witness a parallel decline in standards of quality that mirrors the fragility of the standards of our civilization. As boundaries blur and taboos are broken in the name of artistic expression, there seems to be a disregard for the timeless principles that uphold the true essence of art. The pursuit of novelty and shock value has taken precedence over the pursuit of meaning, beauty, and even craftsmanship. The shift has resulted in a plethora of works that prioritize provocation over substance, leaving audiences longing for the profound and the sublime. The decline in the quality of art can be attributed in part to the influence of intellectuals and critics who celebrate transgression for transgression's sake. The notion that breaking social norms inherently elevates an artwork has led to a proliferation of shallow and sensationalistic pieces. The pursuit of artistic excellence has been overshadowed by the pursuit of attention, leading to a devaluation of the traditional virtues that once defined art. On top of that, the commodification and commercialization of art have further eroded its quality. The demand for instant gratification and market success has incentivized artists to produce works that cater to popular trends rather than pursue genuine artistic integrity.
At $98 million. The hammer is up, sir. I'm selling it on this side of the room. It's Yuki's bid at fair warning and selling, thank you, sir, for $98 million. Thank you, Yuki. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Art becomes reduced to a mere product, manufactured for mass consumption, rather than a reflection of the human experience, a true mirror of the human condition. In this race for popularity, depth and quality often take a backseat.
I'm not the whiskey you want.
And so transgression becomes a double-edged sword. With the rejection of established conventions and the rise of relativism, the criteria by which we evaluate art becomes increasingly subjective and arbitrary. The absence of objective benchmarks for excellence allows for the proliferation of mediocrity and the shortage we see of modern artworks of aesthetic accomplishment. The lack of critical discernment and a reluctance to uphold standards in art has led to a culture of artistic relativism, where personal preference trumps artistic merit, and the identity of the artist trumps the message of the art. But to snub years of artistic tradition and aesthetic excellence is a fool's endeavor, and the consequence of this decline in the quality of art extends far beyond the artistic sphere.
I'm going to, let's see, turn it and try not to get it on Amy's sweater, and I'm going to flick it.
Ooh.
Is that not fantastic?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. Okay, hold on. This is what I'm going to do. That one's done.
Art has always played a pivotal role in shaping culture and society, serving as a reflection of our values, aspirations, and collective identity. When art loses its ability to inspire, question, and uplift, society suffers. It deprives us of the transformative power of art to elevate our souls, deepen our understanding, and provoke meaningful dialogue. In a world increasingly characterized by superficiality, polarization, and instant gratification, the loss of truly great art is a tragic reflection of the loss of our shared humanity. This calls for a renewed sense of individual responsibility. It is imperative that we recognize the role we play in shaping the cultural landscape and actively strive to be better. We must resist the allure of novelty and transgression for its own sake, and instead seek depth, meaning, and craftsmanship in our artistic endeavors. By upholding and promoting the timeless principles that define great art, we can contribute to the restoration of its transformative power and its ability to inspire and provoke genuine reflection. The practical life of the world's underclass is extremely influenced by abstract ideas of misguided social critics of upper-class backgrounds. The truth is that intellectual and artistic life still holds immense practical importance. Practical man may not prioritize theoretical considerations, but the world is governed mainly by outdated ideas from economists, social philosophers, novelists, artists, and now even pop singers and influencers. They are the unrecognized legislators of our increasingly global society, and we ought to pay close attention to what they say and how they say it.
In Pallas's work, the impossible trajectory of hope becomes the ground where irony and advice dance together in frightening hallways, alive with languor and vitality. Screenland is the underground and overlay for consciousness.
We must embrace the wisdom of the past, while also engaging with the present, carefully considering the impact of our choices and contributions to art and society at large. By actively striving for excellence, authenticity, and meaningful connections, we can play a crucial role in the revitalization and preservation of the cultural fabric that underpins our shared humanity. Through these individual acts of responsibility and commitment, we can collectively navigate the challenges of the modern world and use our art to build a more resilient and flourishing civilization for generations to come.